Hello and welcome to Edu Leader Speaks by Education World. We have with us Aditi Mishra. She's the founder principal of DPS Sector 45 Gurgaon, and she's been associated with the school as the founder principal since 2002. She previously served as the headmistress, DPS Maruti Kunj, and DPS Gurgaon. She's an MEd graduate from Annamalai University, Tamil Nadu. She has a B.Ed degree from Indraprastha College and MA in History from the University of Delhi as well. In fact, she herself is an alumna of the DPS schools. She was a recipient of the first C.V. Raman Education Award for Excellence in Leadership in Education in 2021. And she's also won the Teachers' Day Award for recovering and revitalizing education for the COVID 19 generation by International Institute of Hotel Management. She's won the Golden Door Award Singapore for Truth and Integrity of the Written Word Champions of Change. Besides, she's also authored and ideated several books, which include the CBSE textbooks for class 6 to 8, art series, and short stories for the younger children. Welcome, Miss Aditi.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Reshma.
So, if we can start off this interview with you highlighting some of the most recent developments pertaining to your school's infrastructure or curriculum.
Well, the infrastructure is what it is, but what we do with the infrastructure is what matters. So we've created a lot of spaces for the children to do things which they want to do, not something which has been regulated or something which has been prescribed in a particular place. So their favorite
Mhm.
space right now is the ATL lab, where they can tinker, they can do things that they want to, they can see if their idea works, and if it doesn't work, why is it not working? Can we do something better? The art room is another such space where they have absolute freedom to do what they want to do. The music and dance spaces. In fact, even in the classrooms, we are trying to convert the space not so much into a one-way communication of what a teacher does, but a way that the children also participate. So we have interactive panels. Children can go walk up, open a page, open a YouTube video if they so desire, and take off from there. So that is what has come about in terms of infrastructure, but it has been necessitated because of the NEP, the National
Okay.
Education Policy, which was brought out in 2020 after a long wait, but well worth the wait because it brought in all the changes that we as educators had dreamt about, had wanted, and had hankered for. So more
Okay.
voice for children, less emphasis on rote learning, more fun in the classroom, more art, because end of the day, we don't really remember the academic bits unless it's taught with a lot of fun. So those are some of the changes that have come about in the past 12 to 18 months, post pandemic specifically, and has brought in a lot of excitement for the children and for the teachers.
Yeah. So, like you rightly said, I think the Indian education system's undergoing a makeover at the moment because of the introduction of NEP. And we are also setting foot into the new year now. What do you think there are some aspects of education that needs to be focused on this year?
Well, the curriculum is undergoing a big change because just talking about integrating art into the old curriculum is like serving new wine in an old bottle, which we don't want to do.
Mm,
So there's a lot of change coming in, and the new textbooks are underway, and there's a lot of excitement in that as well because it's going to be a complete makeover. The emphasis will now be on teaching children what matters.
okay.
Even if it's a part of history or geography or chemistry or physics, if it's something which is relevant to their life, it's something which is going to make sense to them. Otherwise, just teaching them something for the sake of teaching has to go away. A lot of emphasis and a lot of rethinking is also happening in the space of assessment, because assessment
Okay.
has been something which has been a bit of a scare for most children. And most of us as educators have felt that it's really not right to assess everything the child may know in those 3 hours. So these are some of the things which are exciting, which will bring about change, and I'm sure they'll be welcomed by everybody, all the stakeholders, because it's something which is going to be beneficial for the teacher, for the child, and in some way, then in the larger community, you will have fewer children dropping out of school or wanting
Hmm.
to just get away from academics. Academics should not become a monster that is going to devour their lives.
Okay, okay. We're also in an era where hybrid education is pretty much the normal now. And in such a situation, textbooks are somewhere not being considered as the primary learning resource anymore. However, that being said, what do you think should be the redefined role of textbooks?
Textbook should only be something for the child to fall back on
Okay.
when they want to read something more. It should not be something which the child has to only read. Like you rightly said, there's so much information on YouTube, on other platforms, on children's rediscovering things on their own, on reading something which they want to read. Uh, to now say that no, leave all of that and just get back to textbook is not fair. And it's not very meaningful either. So the textbook needs to be something which the child needs to refer to after having seen something on maybe on a YouTube or learn something from a teacher, from a PowerPoint presentation, from a lecture, and then to re-verify and to sort of bring it in one nutshell. Go to the textbook and then understand what you have done. I want to move away from the idea of learn what you've done to understand and make
Okay.
sense of what you have learned.
Okay, okay, that's a very interesting approach. So, if we can go back to NEP for a moment, what is your take on NCF for school education?
Again, lot of work. It's going to be
Mm-hmm.
work under construction for the next several months. But like I said, it's something which is exciting everybody because it's now going to involve all the stakeholders in it. Earlier, the learning was being done only by the children. Now, teachers are being asked to unlearn and then relearn for the benefit of the child. Parents are going to be involved in what is being learned, why is it being learned, and what is their role in this learning. So I
Mm-hmm.
think once all the stakeholders come in, and it's not just that one group of people in this triangle of teacher, parent, and child. If it's not just the child, but everyone learning together, you can just imagine the kind of synchronous joy that is going to create. So for us,
Absolutely.
that is the most exciting thing to get everybody into the learning mode and explain to the child that I'm also learning this for the first time. I'm doing this I'm bringing in art into the classroom for the first time. So if I falter, please forgive me. That co-learning space sometimes is a very healthy space. It's a fun space to be in.
Absolutely. So, on February 1st, the next union budget is set to be announced. What are some expectations you have from the budget? If you can tell me some very specific pointers.
uh, I think more money, more budget allocation for schools that are meant to be for the marginalized.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not have any child on the street. Let every child compulsorily be in a school, whichever school. It could be a school teaching vocational studies, it could be a school teaching only skills, it could be a school teaching academics, but every child in school has been my dream for the longest time. And also, we used to read about something called truant officers who would be roaming about on the city to see if any child
Okay.
is out of school. So if we could have some, truant officers here who are, they could be part of any organization or any, basic service, and they could be
Mm.
out in malls, on streets, in shops, in workshops, in industries to see if there are any children underage who ought to be in school and who are not in school. It's a dream, I know, but maybe it comes true one day. I'd also like more emphasis on digital education, especially for the children from marginalized sections, because I think
Okay.
that is a real new world opening up for them. So I'm aware that government schools do get books for their children. Instead of getting those books, if they could be given a tablet with all the books
Okay.
inside, but it should also be enabled that they can also go on YouTube, they can also go on PowerPoint presentation, they can also read hear some lectures from outsiders. I think it will be a complete revolution in the way they learn. So that's my dream. I don't know
Absolutely.
how far it's going to come true because it's going to be in a larger budget allocation, definitely. But maybe it will happen.
Okay. Okay. So the following questions are going to be one-word questions. Who's that one
So
thinker or philosopher you follow?
I think Vivekanand.
Okay. A Nobel laureate that you'd admire?
Rabindranath Tagore.
Okay. Can you tell us about your leadership style?
I think my people who work with me should be able to tell me that. I try to make it as inclusive as possible. I'm not terribly authoritarian. I like it to be
Okay.
inclusive and
Okay. A book on education that you think everybody must pick up and read?
the myth of normal.
Okay. Okay. All right. This brings us to the end of the interview. It was very nice having you, Miss Aditi. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Reshma.